funny running into you in these sides of the streets. It's Gene Alcantara. We're gonna talk about some Street Fighter 6. I heard that there was like a new open beta that was coming out that lets you do some more stuff with the World Tour mode as a show of signs of things to come. Because online, there's these stories that you can like watch relating to stuff happening in the greater Street Fighter universe that you can check out if you want to, going over the details on what exactly is happening in the Street Fighter 6 universe. A lot of characters, there's a huge time skip that went on after 5. In the burgeoning New Republic of Nashal, Ken Masters is on the scene talking with newcomer JP, setting up the next Street Fighter tournament. Now, mind you, the tournament this time around is going to be held with drones and other types of contemporary changes that have been happening in the Street Fighter universe analogous to this one. So realistically, he's getting a lot of pushback from other executives on the Masters board. Now, he's not exactly like feeling all that type of stuff because he feels like it's important for them to show that the Republic is standing fierce and is going to create a new economy in the world of Street Fighter. But of course, some locals that are presumably angry at the influx of new technology that's happening in their country in such short time are giving him slight pushback. And one thing leads to another. Ken and some of his people are ambushed by some protesters. Now, they're in the middle of some type of paramilitary conflict that ends up getting one of his people killed. But he gets miraculously saved by 2 people that whisk him away to another part of the country. After waking up, he comes to terms with the fact that his friend is dead and quite honestly shocked because he also invited his son to go see a potential opening ceremony for the tourney. Mind you, the son is under the care of Luke, who is meeting up with Mel for the first time or so, and the two of them exchange friend requests on an online game that he plays. Every once in a while, he'll get in touch with Ken to like give him an update on his location, but after the attack on the Master's entourage, his whereabouts are unknown. Luke eventually delivers Mel to the location where he's supposed to be held for the tourney, but instead meets up with GP and the superiors. They update him with a report that a mysterious terrorist organization known as Amnesia is revealing a video that's showing Ken allegedly brokering some type of deal with the leader and some other parts of the Syndicate squad. This obviously doesn't go well and attracts the attention of Interpol agent Chun-Li, who makes her presence known when Ken wakes up and demands he reconnect with his son. Chun-Li obviously goes, "No fam, you better stay your little ass in line. We're gonna figure out who's trying to frame you." Because obviously she knows that through thick and thin and all of those other video games and battles that she's gone through with Ken, that he's not the type of person to do that sort of thing. But it kind of leads to the bigger question on whether or not there may have been some sort of tomfoolery involved in that particular video. She gets on the line with her sister, who forwards her the information that there's a chance that there could have been a potential deep fake or other types of subterfuge making that video. Shit's fake, yo. But before she could follow up on such claims and leads, she hears gunshots, returns to the room that Ken was being held in, and finds that he somehow mysteriously escaped. Now on the run for a crime he allegedly didn't commit, Ken is doing his best to try to stick to the back streets and make his way throughout Nashal in order to keep his head above suspicion and suss out whoever framed him and for what purpose. When JP informs Luke that Ken might potentially be a terrorist, he requests that he lead a team of people to try to look for him around Nashal. They give him the go-to, and the search party begins. Ken, meanwhile, stumbles across the outstreets until he finds a conveniently open shack that houses the leader of Amnesia within. The person takes off their masks and reveals themselves to be none other than JP, who's all like, "Ho ho ho, we are going to spread chaos and there's nothing you can do about it." And Ken is all like, "No, there's no way you wouldn't do that." But then he reveals his trump card, and it turns out that unbeknownst to all these other scenes, he had somehow abducted Mel behind his back. and he's offering him an ultimatum. Either Ken takes the fall for all of these mysterious terrorist attacks, or there's a chance that his son could come to harm. Under his seat is an IED that was improvised under the form of other flying drones that Luke and his squadron end up encountering. After warning the citizens to not get near these drones that have a lot of influence delivering packages and whatnot to the populace, they end up finding Ken in the same shack that he was having a conversation with JP. With Mel's life hanging under the balance, he waits until the absolute last moment to detonate one of the bombs. Other than exploring his excruciating guilt towards performing such an action, Luke and the others almost filled this guy full of lead, but somebody just happens to arrive at the nick of time and shield him from some bullets, taking a bullet in the process, keep in mind that, and diving out a window to avoid the oncoming explosion. Mulling over what exactly had happened these past couple of hours while he fades into unconsciousness. Now, people would want to follow up on something like that, but as of the time of this recording, that's all we got for now. This isn't something that they're gonna go over in the demo, because it barely has anything to do with that, and it kind of fast forwards the story a bit into some other time period, where in this case, you, the main character, are now suddenly the new focal point of the story. But before we delve into more of that, let's go over some of the other stuff that the Street Fighter demo has so far. In this game, they have several modes that are available to you. In other previous betas, you could try out the Battle Hub in order to do battle with other people online. I remember my experience clear as day. I tried going into like the advanced lobbies thinking that I could handle a lot of those seasoned veterans, and I promptly got my ass handed to me. Now, mind you, I'd like to believe that it had something to do with the finicky control schemes that you can actually change in one of the menus that it took me a while to get into. I mean, for short notice, I ended up like trying to get into the beta sort of like as a last minute thing when it was like going through its like final paces before the beta freaking ended. So my experience kind of varied in that instance. I still get a couple matches with people here and there. It was a little one-sided because like, you know, because of all the performances that were being done on the performance review, I did not do well at all, bro. These people clearly had a lot of experience over me. And, you know, what matters is that I tried, I believe. I mean, I'm no match for like doing anything in a tourney at the moment. Probably gonna get O2'd by some random nigga, bro. In the instance, Street Fighter talks about getting up and dealing with stress and trying to move on after bad situations happen to you. Which is very admirable because there's a lot of people, you know, that deal with stressful situations or have some sorts of trauma that over time can try to affect the way people react and go about their lives. And it's very important to understand that you sort of have to have a resilient fighting spirit when it comes to overcoming these obstacles that try to claw their way into and dominate your life in a sense. So, instead of going into World Tour mode like most would suggest, I took my ass to Fighting Ground because I wanted to test my mettle, my chops, and see whether or not I still had it. You know, my experience of playing other Street Fighter games like Street Fighter EX3, the Marvel vs. series, well, not necessarily the Marvel vs. series, that shit is like, it's its own separate ball game. But more on that later. So I was playing like other Street Fighter games, right? And I would think that my skills would translate to this sort of stuff. Because, you know, being able to have like a grasp on certain characters' moves, their properties, and how you're able to space yourself in order to play proper neutral and have good fundamentals against characters would sort of carry over from game to game in a sense. That shit did not carry over from game to sense. I was promptly folded Now, this would have been okay had I just kept the difficulty to a level, but since you're only able to play as Luke and Ryu at the moment, I, being the boneheaded person I was and being a stickler for trying to get a rise out of people, tried to put the fucking communication level or the computer strength to 8, thinking, okay, all I'm gonna do now is just freaking abuse the AI in order to get a victory. That victory did not come. Holy f***. This slapped me, punched me, put me in a box. Was wild. I did not have a good time. It was bad. I thought to myself, okay, let me get the run back. Fine, scene. I'm gonna get this guy next time around. I didn't get caught next time around. That nigga still soundly trounced me. I was like, alright. I see how it is, game. I went to the training mode. I started learning about the fundamentals and trying to understand how to use the characters in this particular game. There are some changes here and there, especially with stuff like the drive parry and drive impact, which are new features in this game that make it somewhat easier for people to capitalize on mistakes being made by enemies or by people whiffing moves and trying to capitalize on that. And also the drive parry moves that involve people being able to block attacks that should otherwise be able to do damage to you, but get significantly lessened.
Welcome. This is Buckler Security Services. I'm Luke, the coach around here. You're here for basic training, right? Okay, let's get you measured up.
So of course, after learning these fundies, I took myself to the World Tour mode because I got nothing to prove to you, which allowed me to create and carry over the data of my previous main character that I created in the last beta and be able to finally embark on the story that's dealing with stuff happening in the new game for Street Fighter 6. Now, with this game is this huge turnaround where they now focus on the main character that you created as being sort of a focal point for the stuff that goes on in the Street Fighter universe. In this one, you create a character and you become a trainee for the Buckler Security Reassessment Program. You acclimate yourself to the new control scheme, run around the dojo for a bit, and you get a quick rundown on how to use light, medium, and heavy attacks to dish out some really good damage on the enemy. Now, after some back and forth with Luke, a new character decides to make their appearance known, and the two of you have a little squabble. After going back and forth with them for a bit and having a little clash, the two of you begrudgingly form an alliance and go to Metro City to learn what it means to be a real Street Fighter. Now in that city, you get to run around, do a couple missions here and there, get to more grips on how to maneuver yourself around the world in the game, get into random fights and such, eat food to recover your health, because, that's a real thing. You run into this girl named Alice who sort of teaches you how to use signature moves and also is another one of the recruiters and sub-trainers that works under Luke. She teaches you how to do some more types of boo-bops, and after some time, God damn it, hold on. Let's see. Tells you how to fight other people and make another part of the game that's probably going to run into a lot of contention, the random encounters. Now in this one, due to the standards of the game encouraging an RPG-like aspect, you're able to use items in the middle of battle, because, sometimes you could be whacking on an enemy, get tired, and then realize that you have something that you can eat in order to like increase your damage potential, get extra defense buffs, that sort of thing. After you two are done fighting, you get more text messages from Luke because, oh, did I mention that this guy's been like chatting with you here and there through the phone? It's another bit of like tech that you're gonna be using to communicate with and accept missions from other characters in the game. So in this story mode, a lot of people are hitting you up because you're just that important of a person, with details involving side quests and other types of materials that you're going to be doing in the game that's going to last you a bit of a while. So you get another text message from Luke, and the two of you decide to go to a random alleyway. But oh no, some random dudes in cardboard boxes decide to pull up to you, and you get introduced to a new mechanic where you get to have multi-character battles. So you dramatic battle the enemies. The two of them take their hoods off and reveal themselves to be Alice's other brothers that are here to help with the training exercises that Luke put them up to. You guys find yourselves striking a very quick friendship, pleasantries are exchanged, and the two of you go out your merry way. You get another message from Luke, and he tells you, yo, you guys are okay, but you could stop by another clothing store nearby, change your look a bit. So you go to this store, it's very aptly named, and get yourself, a nice hat. It's okay. Garish, gaudy, stands out. I love it. So the two of y'all leave that Lids store, decide to jump out, kick it for a bit, and get another message telling yourselves to go meet up with him. So y'all go to like meet up with freaking Luke, right? Because, where could he be in this large spanning metropolis? There's no way that we'll find him in time. Oh, yeah. There's a little marker right there. So y'all pull up on him, right? And then the two of y'all decide to have another battle with Luke. The actual Street Fighter for real this time around. And it goes okay. Win or lose, regardless, you have a long, hard fight. Probably a couple swears pushed, couple words made, some things being said about the characters. You almost throw your fucking controller on the TV screen. But regardless, he pats both of y'all on the back, tells you, well done, y'all. You can take on the world with this type of teamwork. Now, even though your character is very open to like working with other people and totally up for collaborating and such, like I mentioned before, your rival character, buddy, person, guy, pal, doesn't exactly harbor the same sentiments. They go on and on about their melodramatic rival arc, telling you, yo, I need more training. I need to be stronger. And so they begrudgingly leave the party. But the die is already cast. Things are going to be said. Alliances and allegiances will be made and broken. And your main character is going to see it all through their peerless eyes in the new story mode. Now, I'm personally excited for this ish. I've never been one to totally completely dabble into the multiplayer or the freaking arcade mode side of things, unless it deals with trophies. I like trophies. But other than that, I can totally see myself devoting a large amount of time trying to create the proper character, get a good style on how to use the characters here and there, get access to the signature moves and the fighting style that the characters are going to be using in order for you to, copy more or less to a certain extent other characters' fighting styles. Learn how to do emotes so you can get sturdy in Metro City and such, and also run into a whole bunch of other characters that are gonna embark or make big impacts on how you deal with stuff in the story in the Street Fighter universe. I'm pretty excited for this shit. I can't wait till the open beta starts. I am super excited for that shit. I want to fucking redeem myself, go on the Gene Redemption arc, lab some more matches here and there with the boys, and have myself a really good time. And if y'all want to see some more further adventures in the Street Fighter universe, or deal with other types of fighting games that I've played in the past here and there, you can check out the rest of the Alcantara archives, and also like and subscribe, so you can stay tuned on other experiences that I might be having in other games this time of the year. 2023 is about to be that summer period. Spring is moving like it has somewhere to be. Alright, so I'm gonna build up some more of my strength. Have at it.